Hello guys. Hello YouTube. It is June 9th of 2026. I don't know when the last video came out, probably a bit ago. Right here. A little messed up right now. We're here to talk. I haven't talked to you guys, haven't talked to the family in a long time. So let's get right into the video using the mic again today. What can we clip it to? Hold up. Gonna clip it to God from Pun Pun. Right there, right there. Alright, so yeah. Um let's start off with what I want to show, um, which actually I'll just put the mic here for now to show you the things like these both my hands. Kind of really squeezing my shirt. Went to Barnes and Nobles today, a couple hours ago with my brothers. It was a lot of fun, and I've been waiting for this honestly for like 2 weeks. It actually was not the most fun because there was a lot of barking all day, and it was just kind of it's been a tiring day. I woke up pretty early, like 9. You know, cleaned my car this morning. Not much more other than that. My room, maybe I can't remember if that was no, that was yesterday. Anyways, yeah, let's start off with what I was reading last night, which this is a new book, and I actually have some of this annotated right here. That's where I left off last night. I had to start rereading it because it's been a bit since I read it, but I guess I stopped somewhere around. Well, actually, no, I did more than that, but I stopped annotating around here. And yeah, those are my annotations right there. This is what I read last night. Just something really quick before I went to sleep. I'll explain why I'm reading this right now. Now let's explain the new buys from today. So yeah, no one watches this. So the two buys that I did, I'll say why these are the buys and the other ones aren't. Is 2666 from Roberto Bolaño. Looks pretty good. Cover really interests me. I've seen this book a lot of times at Barnes and Nobles, and the cover always really interests me. We'll actually shed a light, for lighting purposes. Ooh, yeah. Let's read the blurb. We're gonna read the blurb on all these, and hopefully, yeah, that's better. Three academics on the trail of a reclusive German author, a New York reporter on his first Mexican assignment, a witted philosopher, a police detective in love with an elusive older woman. These are among the searchers drawn to the border city of Santa Teresa, where over the course of a decade, hundreds of women have disappeared. Most of these books, I don't know anything about them. Um, not most of this. It was this one and no, I guess just this next one, which I haven't read the blurb for, but I did read the blurb a little bit early in my bed on all these except for Children of Time. This one sounds pretty interesting. Looks pretty cool. Has it's really well designed and yeah, looks exciting. Yeah. Actually, before I get to the new books, I'll also show you my last new book that I got last time I was there, which is this book, 11/22/63, which I'm reading from over here from Reflected. So yeah, I did get it right. Stephen King. Look, you may want to read this. I'm 34 pages in. I think my bookmark though. Ooh, there you go. That's JFK. RFK. I mean, no, JFK. Yeah, this what I've read has been pretty interesting, pretty good, and but I'm only not too far into it because there's another book I have to read, which is my main book right now. So the Odyssey from Homer, not really Homer. If you know, you know, which I didn't know because it's only in the introduction over here. Yeah, Homer is like non-existent, but kind of is, Homer, the Odyssey, pretty good what I've read, but it's just a little bit hard to read. Even though it's a very classic book, it's poetry. I'm on page 144, but I'm only in book 3. Most of this book, the introduction is up until page 80, and then there's a little translators now, which I don't think is as long. But yeah, the actual poem, the actual Odyssey, doesn't start until I think page 100 something, right? I'm looking right now. First page I could read right here is 106. So yeah, so what I've really read is this, not this, not this right here. But I gotta read it for obvious reasons because of the Odyssey. I got tickets. I got tickets for the Odyssey. 70 millimeter IMAX Regal. Won't say which one. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Um, to go on that, to talk on that a little bit, yeah, I haven't read the book, and a lot of people have, and they love it. So I can imagine that coming as someone that loves the book. But I'm pretty excited because I love Nolan. Who doesn't? You know, if you watch movies, who that watches movies doesn't love Nolan? And then before that, I was reading Dune, which is the one I'm furthest along in, and also is not. It's big. You know, this is a big copy, but it's not that big. That makes sense. That Dune isn't that big, and you know, and I'm reading this because one, I haven't seen the movies. I've seen the first one, and I couldn't really pay that much attention. And I haven't seen Dune 2, and then Dune 3 is going to come out, which I'm sure, I mean, I know isn't this book, but I did, when I bought this, I bought a little book set, which was very cheap. It was like 20 something dollars for the first trilogy. So up until Children of Dune. So after that, I have Dune Messiah. But my number one priority is the Odyssey because I'm going to finish that by, I'm hoping this month. So the beginning of this month, which is very doable. I'm not in summer. I've been in summer like 2 weeks now. So but yeah, let's hope I get that Odyssey done by this month. So yeah, those are I have a little like on my bookshelf back there. I really look bad. I really don't like how I look today. I don't know. I generally feel really ugly right now. Those three books I just showed are in my little reading corner. So on my desk, I kind of cleared up this part that I haven't been liking, and I'm putting the books I'm currently reading. So these are my current reads, right? Okay. Except and also All About Love, which I was just um 2666 already showed. Next we'll go to Children of Time, right? Let's read the blurb on this one. This one is very beloved science fiction. So yeah. The last remnants of the human race left a dying Earth, desperate to find a new home. Following wait, hold up. Kind of read that wrong. The last remnants of the human race left a dying Earth, desperate to find a new home. Following their ancestors' star maps, they discovered the greatest treasure of the past age, a world terraformed and prepared for human life. But all is not right in this new Eden. The planet is not waiting for them, pristine and unoccupied. New masters have turned it from a refuge into mankind's worst nightmare. Now two civilizations are on collision course that must fight to survive, as the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Who are the true heirs of the new Earth? That sounds interesting. I mean, even if I didn't think it was interesting, this is apparently a good book. It's a really great science fiction book, and really loved. And I've been wanting to get it the last times I've been to Barnes and Nobles. You know, they have a pretty big science. I mean, they have a lot of books. Obviously, it's a bookstore, but they've been having the tables, and they had sorry message, and they had the science fiction books. I think mainly, and for me at least, like I started getting into it because of Project Hail Mary. And, I'm reading Dune, and I also read The Martian. I also have Artemis, which I need to read, also from Andy Weir. On to the next three books. So let's preface this, and I can't get arrested for this because it's not true. But I'll just say for story that I stole these, but I didn't. So we have this one, The Sluts, which just looks interesting. I thought it looked interesting, and I'm an adult. I'm grown. I can read whatever I want. And even if I wasn't, I could still read whatever I want. So the blurb on this one: set largely on the pages of a website where set largely on the pages of a website where gay male escorts are reviewed by their clients and told through the postings, emails, and conversations to several dozen unreliable narrators. The Sluts chronicles the evolution of one young escort's day with a dissatisfied client into a metafiction of pornography, lies, half truths, and myth. Explicit, shocking, comical, and displaying the author's signature flair for blending structure and complexity with direct, stylish, accessible language. The Sluts is Cooper's most transgressive novel since Frisk. It just sounds interesting, and I feel like getting into kind of taboo topics, which I mean, it's about gay people. Being gay isn't taboo, obviously. That's not what I'm trying to say. I look really bad, dude. It's really just, I really, really look like Joshua. I don't like when my hair is like this. I only get my hair cut for work because I need to put on my work cap. But if it was up to me, I would have long hair. I would be a girl. I'm not gonna lie. It looks interesting. It looks interesting, and obviously, like I just said, being gay isn't taboo. But I want to dive into. I just want to dive into the world. I'm not saying this is real. Whatever this book portrays is completely real. But there's dark sides in every. Oh, Bret Easton Ellis has a little note back here, and I love him for American Psycho, a great book. So we'll read his review. A brilliant, triumphantly lurid writer as well. Oh, I already read this earlier, but I didn't know it was Bret Easton Ellis. Sorry, a brilliant, triumphantly lurid writer as well as a supremely talented, elegant stylist whose prose is smart and nervy. He might also be the last literary outlaw in mainstream American fiction. Effortlessly entering taboo areas, he lends them a specific gravity, a justification for existing, and does so with such punk daring he makes most writers' concerns seem hopelessly middlebrow and puny by comparison. So it looks like a great book, and it looks very interesting. Again, this cover, I like how this text is blurred, and yeah, I'm excited to read this whenever I get to it. Two more books. Um, this one I did read the blurb, but I don't remember. This one, I picked this one because it looks I really like the design, the typeset, the font. It looks really interesting. And it's called Extinction. Hold up. Sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, so let's read the blurb on this one. Again, looks very interesting. It's called Extinction by. Okay, hold up. I didn't cover who the last two. Children of Time, Adrian Tchaikovsky. Adrian Tchaikovsky. And the Sluts, Dennis Cooper. And Extinction, Thomas Bernhard. Why is he hard? Franz Joseph Marot, the intellectual. Franz Joseph Marois, the intellectual black sheep of a powerful Austrian landowning family, lives in Rome in self-imposed exile, surrounded by a coterie of artistic and intellectual friends. On returning from his sister's wedding on the family estate of Wolfsegg, having resolved never to go home again, Murau receives a telegram informing. Oh my god, I can't read this one. From the top, let's do from the top. Franz Joseph Murat, the intellectual black sheep of a powerful Austrian landowning family, lives in Rome in self-imposed exile, surrounded by a coterie of artists and intellectual friends. On returning from his sister's wedding on the family estate of Wolfsegg, having resolved never to go back home again, Murao receives the telegram informing him the death of his parents and brother in a car crash. Not only must he now go back, he must do as the master of Wolfsegg. Do so as the master of Wolfsegg. Okay, now I understand. Like he must decide its fate. Oh, okay. So I read this blurb earlier, and I didn't fully understand what it meant by the master of Wolfsegg. I kind of assumed it was a state or something where he was living in. I don't know. I think I was still at the Barnes and Nobles, but it's the name of the maybe his last name. Well, not his last name, but the state is Wolfsegg. By coterie of artistic intellectual friends, the family state of Wolfsegg. So now that his parents and his brother died in the car crash, now he's the state's owner of Wolfsegg. He must decide its fate. Written in the seamless, mesmerizing style for which Bernhard is famous, Extinction is the ultimate proof of his extraordinary literary genius. Okay, so that sounds a little bit more interesting than what I thought it was. I was kind of confused a little bit earlier. Kind of trying to read the blurb and I didn't understand. So yeah, it sounds interesting. This one is very short, but it feels like it's going to be dense. It feels like it's going to be a little bit of a hard read. Last but not least, The Memory Police. This one is very familiar to me. I'll explain why. Because I always saw this, I think, in my English teacher's classroom, I'm pretty sure. And I was never interested in it because I don't know. I think it's a very well designed cover, but I thought I thought it was a different type of book. I don't know. But I did read the blurb as well over this one over there. Ooh, okay. I'm seeing a lot of comparisons right here. We'll read this little review from Time, and then we'll read the blurb because it's interesting to me. Oh wait, okay. So this book is called The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. Ogawa's fable echoes the themes of George Orwell's. Oh my God, sorry. Ogawa's fable echoes the themes of George Orwell's 1984, Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, and Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude, but it has a voice and power all of its own. Okay, I love 1984, haven't read Fahrenheit 451, and I do know 100 Years of Solitude or Cien Años de Soledad, because it's Gabriel Garcia Marquez. On an unnamed island, Objects are disappearing. First hats, then ribbons, birds, roses. Most of the inhabitants are oblivious to these changes, while those few able to recall the lost objects live in fear of the draconian. I'm sorry. When I start reading out loud, it's really hard to. So I need to start again. Let me have a sip of my drink. Hold up. Oh, that's so good. On an unnamed island, objects are disappearing. First hats, then ribbons, birds, roses. Most of the inhabitants are oblivious to these changes, while those few able to recall the lost objects live in fear of the draconian memory police, who are committed to ensuring that what has disappeared remains forgotten. When a young writer discovers that her editor is in danger, she concocts a plan to hide him beneath her floorboards, and together they cling to her writing as the last way of preserving the past. Powerful and provocative, The Memory Police is a stunning novel about the trauma of loss. Sounds interesting. Actually, I did read the blurb a little bit earlier, but I didn't read after When a Young Writer because I don't know. I think the whole idea of the memory police already caught my attention really hard because, like the little review said, it reminds me a lot of 1984 about the thought police, and that was enough to me for me to get this because, yeah, I love 1984 and I'm excited for all these books. Excited for all the books. I did buy two CDs. So this is one. The other one is in my car right now. Fallen from Evanescence. Great album. Great songs. My song is My favorite song is either Bring Me to Life. I really like My Tourniquet. My God, my tourniquet. Return to me. Pretty sure I'm trying to remember if that's the name of the song. It should be, but I could be wrong. Oh, My Immortal. My Immortal literally makes me want to cry. Bring Me to Life, Tourniquet. It's a classic album. Um, I'm excited to listen to it more. Listen to it a couple times, but again, My Immortal is generally a really. It's like so beautiful. I wanted to get more. Yeah, I'm excited. And then the other album that I do have in my car, the other CD that I bought was Chanel Orange from Frank Ocean. I'm really happy with that. I didn't find it technically. My brother found it for me. But I was really thinking about earlier today how much I love the album and how much I want the album on CD. And I got it, and it has one of my favorite songs of all time called Crack Rock. Amazing song. Anyways, just wanted to go over the things really quick. I kind of haven't talked in a video, haven't made a video in a while. Got the license. I think my last video already had my license, so I probably already talked about that, but I'm actually very happy with that. Little roadblock that I do want to talk about, which is kind of why, because the books are just showing off. I haven't read them, so I can't talk about them or anything. But what I do want to talk about, I need to talk about is just kind of last night. It's like the whole the video, the audience knows I've talked a lot about Sophia, and we're talking last night, and she said something that honestly upset me, and I'm really mad at myself for being upset, but I got upset. I'm not gonna lie, and it was something that I saw coming because I saw her story, and I don't know, I felt it for a couple of weeks, and she mentioned to me this guy before, and yeah, so Loki, a little hard to talk about. I don't know. It's just not gonna work out between us. Is the whole thing. I'm not gonna start talking about her love life, but it's not gonna work out between me and her, and it's something I have to accept, and I need to make peace with. It's really hard to. It's been a night, so obviously it's really hard to because it's been a night. The time hasn't passed, but I think it's gonna be hard to do so. But it's okay. I'm a good person, and that's why I started reading all about love last night. At some point, me and Sophia were reading that together, and we didn't get too much into it. That's why my annotations stopped very early on in the book because that's kind of when we stopped reading it. And I don't know, I've had the book for like 2 years, and I think it's time for me to revisit, and not just revisit, but actually read it for the first time fully, and hopefully understand the concepts more. And I just want to be friends with Sophia, because if it's not going to work out in that way, it's not going to work out in that way. But it makes me very sad it's not gonna be that way, because it's my fault for convincing myself that it was gonna be that, and she made it very clear that I wasn't gonna be that. Like that. Do we like this one? She made it very clear what it was and what we were. And I feel horrible about it. I feel bad because I don't want her to. We're really good friends, and she's a great friend. Um, but I feel a lot more than that. Uh, oh my god, and it's just like it's one thing. It's really embarrassing just because I put a lot of time in, and I talked about her a lot. I don't care about the money. Like in my mind, I've been saying, "Fuck, I spent so much money. I put a lot of time." It's not about that. It sounds very narcissistic to be like, "I put so much effort into this. Where's my thing in return?" It's not about that. But I had a lot of thought into it. I spent a lot of my time thinking the last 2 years about us and about something in the future. And I told my friends and my family about her all the time. It's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing on one part, but also I hope that I want her to be happy, and having a guy friend in her life who, has these feelings is hard. I imagine, and um, it's not fair to her because we're really good friends, and just stop talking to her. Just because I kind of have her. What kind of friend is that? It's just really hard because I really want her. Because I do. Because I really wanted us to be together, and I really fell for her, and I really invested a lot into it. Again, not in the time and money aspect. I really invested my heart into it, and it's sad. It sucks. I'm really sad about it. I went to sleep sad. It was like 1 a.m. I couldn't sleep afterwards, and my mind was just kind of spiraling. And I texted her again this morning. I told her last night. I told her I think I need a break to get rid of these feelings. We were very honest to each other, and that's what I told her. I said, "Yeah, like I respect you, and I want you to be happy. We both want each other in each other's life." And she said that as well. But to get rid of the feelings is something completely different. I told her I think I might need time away, but I texted her this morning. I've texted her a couple times since this morning. I said it was so boring not talking to her, because it is so boring, and it's gonna take a bit for the feelings to fade away. But I do love talking to her, and that doesn't go away overnight. So yeah, I want to talk to her. I want to be friends, and if that's all we are, we're friends. We're friends. That's it. It's a little sad to me. I'm sad about it, but I'm also just missing talking to her. I miss my friend. I guess that's it. I gotta stop talking. I gotta go to my bed, and I gotta rest. I gotta be on Instagram reels. But I'm excited about the books. Um, a little sad about that situation with Sophia, but also I want her to be happy, and I hope that we figure things out. The Odyssey next month. Books to read. Thinking about starting a Minecraft world today. I really gotta update my Java stuff, and get some new mods because it's been stuck on an older version. But yeah, when I start a new survival world, get Zero's mini map again, and delete my old mods because low key it locks me to like an older version. It's really annoying. Or maybe start the survival world on Bedrock. Lots to think about. Lots to love in my life still, and I really love Sophie, and I really miss her. I really miss her, and we're not going to work out, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Gonna watch Disclosure Day on Thursday. Gonna work tomorrow. Gonna be with my friends on Friday. I'm an exciting week still. I have a lot to look forward, and I love life, and I love you, Alexis. Goodbye.